Friends, welcome to my home studio in the beautiful Catskill Mountains in upstate New York. I am John Burrell, and I'm here to talk about a fragrance that I'm a little bit late to the game on. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I don't know. I heard a lot about it from the frag community, and I said, but I finally got it. I've had it for a few weeks, and you're going to find out what it is. And I'm going to let you know if this fragrance is still relevant.
John Burrell, fragrance review. Here comes with the swag. Fresh and dope like heroin soap. That man's got swag.
All right, so what fragrance am I talking about? I am talking about Parfums de Marly, Layton. Yeah, I know. A lot of people in the fragrance community have it, and people talk about it. People have reviewed it, and it's been out for a few years. It was released in what? I don't even know. It was released in 2016. So it's been around for going on 6 years. And so why did it take me so long to get it? Why? I don't know. But let's talk about it. Is this fragrance still relevant, although it's been around for almost 6 years? Quick answer. Absolutely. Absolutely. This fragrance is beautiful. First off, Parfums de Marly, in my opinion, has the best atomizer in the biz. If you don't know, check it out. Best atomizer in the business. That is a killer atomizer. Now, why do I'm going to be upfront. I love this fragrance. I can't believe it took me so long to get it. It's been reviewed 1,000 times, but it hasn't been on my channel, so let's talk quickly about it. First off, is it pricey? It definitely is pricey, but you can find it online from reputable eBay sellers for a decent price, depending on what you feel a decent price is, right? This retails, I think, somewhere around $300 or so. You can find it online for a 4.2, somewhere around, depending. You can get a tester for maybe $165, $170 for a 4.2, and you can get something brand new, not a tester, for about $180, $190 to $200. So it is pricey, right? But let me tell you something. Top notes: apple, lavender, mandarin orange, bergamot. Middle notes: geranium, violet, jasmine. Base notes: vanilla, cardamom, sandalwood, pepper, patchouli, gaiac wood. This is the best of both worlds. Here's why I love this fragrance. If you're anything like me, okay, and you collect fragrances, but even if you don't, you have a hard time, right? One day you love something a little fresher, but then you say, boy, I love those deep fragrances with the wood, the vanilla. I just love those deep, kind of thick fragrances. I like sweeter fragrances. I just like everything. I have to tell you, this fragrance checks all boxes. It really does. This fragrance checks all boxes. So if you want something that's a tiny bit fresh, this is not a fresh fragrance. I'm not saying that, but a tiny bit fresh, right? So the apple, the lavender, the mandarin orange, the bergamot gives it that a little brightness, just a little brightness to it. But then it has those deeper notes, right? Once the middle notes kick in, the geranium, the violet, the jasmine keeps it a little bright, but that vanilla, cardamom, sandalwood, pepper, patchouli, and gaiac wood in the base, it's to die for. This fragrance has serious depth, and it is, I get it. People, the knock on this is it's a designer fragrance, right, in a niche bottle. Okay. I get that because it's super mass appealing, but I don't know what's wrong with that. And yeah, it is mass appealing, and maybe you could say it's designer-ish. However, the longevity on this is killer. I get 8-9 hours out of this. And when I say that, 8-9 hours, it becomes a skin scent. But I put this on last night. I went to bed. I woke up this morning, and I could still smell the vanilla and the sandalwood on my hand. Yeah, it was a skin scent. Of course, it was a skin scent. But this is a beast. It's a beast. Projection-wise, this projects for a long time. We're talking 2.5 hours of projection, arm's length. And then even after that, you still have a bubble around you that people smell and people will compliment if that's what you're looking for. Now listen, do I like compliments? I think everyone likes people to say, hey, you smell great. But honestly, I love this. So whether people were complimenting me or not, I would still wear it. My wife adores this fragrance. This fragrance, I will say on my skin, is fairly linear after about the first 20 minutes to a half hour. Then it stays, again, you still get a little bit of that apple, mandarin, bergamot, again, the lavender. What's really interesting about this fragrance is you get all the deeper notes, all the base notes, but the brightness, a tiny bit of the brightness still stays there. Again, I would never say this is a super hot weather fragrance, although I do believe this is a year-round fragrance. I also believe this is a statement fragrance. It's a signature fragrance. And again, I get it. So many people in the fragrance community, so many reviewers have talked about this. Yes, true. However, in your normal life, no one has heard of this fragrance. No one who's not into fragrances has probably even heard of Parfums de Marly. No one in your normal life, if they're not super into fragrances, has heard of Layton. I just went through this with someone who contacted me on Instagram and said, hey, you're into fragrances. You know, I want something unisex. I want something that smells really good, something my girlfriend would really like. And I told her right away, try Layton. And she said, I've never heard of Layton. I said, okay, well, you need to check it out. Get a sample, okay? But if you want to just take my word for it, buy Layton. It's unisex. Now, does it lean a little more masculine? Maybe it does. But I do think this is unisex. When I put this on, my wife loves it. She says, wow. And what she likes about it is the fact that what you smell somewhat in the beginning is what you smell somewhat towards the end. My wife actually doesn't like fragrances that change too much because she'll love a part of it. And then as it changes, she says, I'm not sure about that. So this doesn't change that much. A lot of the notes you can smell is blended beautifully. This is a masterpiece. This is a 10 out of 10. And it's blended beautifully, and you can pretty much smell the fragrance all the way through, all of the notes, but blended in a perfect way. This is a fragrance that at this point I could not do without. I've been wearing it quite a bit. I've had it for about 2 weeks, and I've worn it probably half of that time. I mean, really. Again, I'll go to the gym, I'll take a shower, work out, spray something else on, or vice versa. I wear this at some point about 50% of the time in the last 2 weeks, and so I've had a lot of wears out of it. And this lasts a long time, every single wear. It's a stunning fragrance, and it's a compliment beast if that's what you're looking for. So, yes, long story short, I guess, although it's been a long story, but yes, this is a still relevant fragrance. It's amazing. If you don't have Layton, my advice is to get it. You can get it at a decent price. Let me just say this. I know that somewhere around $200 for 4.2 is still pricey, and it's still something that some people don't want to spend. But I will say this: if you're looking for a statement fragrance, again, you have a lot of friends listen. None of my personal friends that I haven't met since starting this channel are fragrance fanatics, right? They're not frag heads. So no one has this fragrance that I know unless they get it because I tell them to get it. So I think you're going to experience the same thing. So this is a really good fragrance, and it has moved into my top 10 of all time and knocked something out for sure. I've had, obviously, every time you move something into your top 10, something gets knocked out, and I don't know what that is yet, but at some point I'll do a top 10 list, and this will be in it 100% for a long time. I don't ever imagine this being knocked out of that list. Anything can happen, but I just can't imagine it. I have Carlisle, and I'll talk about that at some point. And I know Carlisle, some people like Carlisle better than Layton. I don't want to spoil a surprise, but Layton's just really, really good. And it's impossible not to like, in my opinion. So there you go. My quick review, I think is pretty quick, on Layton. And if you are someone who doesn't mind spending money on fragrances, this is a good one. But at least get a sample and check it out. I think you love it. I don't know who. I've never met anyone that says it smells bad. I will say I was scared away. One of the reasons I didn't get it initially is I was scared away by Tyler in particular, saying that the opening smells like Vicks Vapor Rub, which I have read online as well. I don't get that. I guess I'm very fortunate. I get none of that on my skin even in the beginning. I get none of that. So maybe it's a skin thing. Different people's skin react differently to the fragrance. I do not get a Vicks Vapor Rub at any point during the life of this fragrance. So that's something I'll let you know. But it opens up beautifully. It's bright. It does have a brightness to it when it first opens up. Does it darken a little bit? Maybe a little, but it's beautifully blended. And there's always a tiny bit of brightness in there, which means, I believe you can wear it all year. I do believe that. High heat, I don't know. Maybe it's a little thick for that, but I think you can get away with it if it's your signature scent for sure. So there you go. I want to thank everybody very much. I tried to get a review in very quickly after I did the last one because I know I've been kind of absent. I had a little extra time and I said, let's do it. Let's get another review in there. But I want to thank all of you very much. You know I love you. We out.
John Morrell, Fragrance Review. Here comes with the swag. Fresh and dope like heroin soap. That man's got swag.